Good morning. So yesterday I lost my PA account on Apex due to dollar cost averaging in a very inappropriate way. It's fine. We'll talk about that soon. The Top Step accounts are creeping their way up. I'm just trying to slowly move them up beyond that 2,000 mark. And then once I get beyond 2,000, start building that buffer zone, I can start pushing higher contracts and following a little less tightly on my trailing stops. Realistically, it's the same thing I was trying to do on my Apex account. And I don't usually mind DCAing that much because typically I'm in low. However, yesterday I saw a parabolic move right around 1240. And in that parabolic move, you typically get a fairly good pullback. And I got the pullback. You see 68.30. It came down to 27. I was really kind of going for about 25. And it did not go. Now, usually on a parabolic increase in pullback, I would just get out, being that it's so bullish and it turns against me. I will not lie. I felt very biased that it could get back to 68.21, if not 68.25. So I made a little bit of money in the morning. I missed this whole move here. I come in, I'm seeing this come up on my Apex account. I short here into the strength, figuring a pullback. Got the pullback, but as it went up, yesterday's value area high was sitting just above, I think around 34. And I thought, oh, well, I'll just start to short the value area high, which was also at the time a triple resistance. So I thought, this is great. So I began adding into the position thinking, I'll get a little pullback, even though it's probably going to go higher. Well, it began to grind higher and higher and higher. And then I decided to rescue myself. And I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll now martingale basically while in the trade. I'll double up and I'll bring up my average high enough so that I can get out on even a small pullback. Well, I didn't do the math right. And essentially right here at 37.50 on this pullback, I was sitting at, I think 37.25 or 37, but I was already a full contract in at that point, and I think I had gotten down to about $40 in the red, and I thought, hey, this might break. I got a little greedy. I thought, hey, I could probably get this at least back to point of control, which was still actually, which was maintained at 31 all day. It never really moved. I thought we could get back to point of control. A lot of buyers here before we grind higher. And it didn't. It didn't. Eventually, I kept adding in, and to the point where I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to let it ride. And so I went from being just $40 down up to $2,000 down. And then I got knocked out somewhere. I know I hit 50. I figured if I could get 50 and get the rejection, I would be okay. And it hit 50, and it didn't even blink. It just kept going. Now, I figured there would be a pullback. I thought maybe in the day. I knew at one point I wasn't going to survive the grind up anymore. And so I let the account go, and it maintained, and it finally started to break down a little bit, but realistically not much. We're sitting very bullish right now from yesterday. So yeah, got taken out. It happens. It's been a few months since I blew up an account, especially a funded account. It's been some time, but it's part of the game, right? So let's go back and see what we can find today. So looking at our chart, beginning Friday, big move up, bullish overnight move, going into Monday bullish, and again, killing that 6,800, right? Just holding it. You can see 6,800, I called it a battle zone not that long ago, and it's still playing to that. It bounced right off 6,800, went right up to 6,850. We're if we 68.55, 68.50, where we have support, 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 resistance, resistance, rejection prior to it, and essentially resistance potentially turning support. We have this break here into 66. On the macro, this is a great bull flag. If we can hold 68.37.75, start to go up above 68.50, cover that close, I won't say it's blue sky territory just because this looks pretty rough here, but I think it's reasonable to get to 68.77, 68.80. And if we have enough strength, especially with the idea that the government's going to potentially reopen, I haven't checked the news, that's what it said last night. You got Trump pushing stimulus checks. We're going to start getting more data if we open. If it's feeling good, hey, we might be seeing 6,900. Maybe not today, but I could see it happening this week. If we do not hold 68.37, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean we won't go up, but we might cover back down to 68.10 just to make sure we have that support, pick up some more buyers before we move up. And now if we break below 6,800 again, there's some open room here. I haven't looked at the prints, but this starts to feel a little thin at certain points, especially between 67.21 and 67.05. Right now, I don't know which way it's going to go. So my bias right now is neutral. I'm looking at 68.55 as the new battleground for helping me with direction. I want to see 68.38 support if we're going to look for longs. If we break that, I would still look for longs around 68.07, and I could potentially scalp some of this on the way down. If we break 68.07 and get a retest and fail, I'll target down to 67.64 would be my first, and I'd trail it down and see what we can do. See if we can maybe get back down to 67.06. So let's jump on down to the 15-minute and add what we need to add in. So here, yeah, I mean, I know that there's a lot of activity in here. Between the point of control and value area low, if you look at the session profiles, there's a lot of activity. And this could be rough. If you look at all this buying and selling activity, 68.30 down to 6,800, it could be a little rough to trade that. I'm not going to lie. If we shoot down to the 1 minute so we can better see the value area highs, value area lows, right now, obviously, we're quite bullish. Yesterday's value area high, 68.39. So far this morning, underneath discount, we're bouncing really well off what was yesterday's premium. What is overnight cheap is sitting well above yesterday's value area high. Point of control, much lower yesterday, overnight, practically at the high of day. So we're having more acceptance, at least up until around midnight. We had acceptance up there. We still do. It hasn't moved down yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if we start moving down some. I'm going to take this out. I don't know what this is going to do for me at the moment. If I were to look and say, well, I was neutral on the larger time frames, let's look at the smaller time frames and see if we can get a little bit of a direction here. So we are inside of yesterday's range, but we are above value area high. So that would be neutral bullish. As for the overnight, I'm going to say, oh, we're on the lower end of the range and we're about 50-50 on inventory. So I'll call that neutral bearish. And then just depends on where we open up. There isn't much news today. I know we have mortgage applications tomorrow. I got some Fed speakers coming up, but not Powell. So even though we're leaning slightly more bearish, I feel like today is going to be a little bit of a patience play. I don't know if I want to trade underneath point of control to value area low, just because if you look at the larger session profile, there is a lot of activity here, and I just don't know if it's going to fall through. And often when I say that, that's when things fall through, but that's where I sit there. So I'm going to leave out this zone. What I'd like to see is a continuation of this support here at 68.39 and get this channel break going here. You look here and it's a perfect channel down, right? Capturing everything here. You know, right now you're still in a good place to short. Shorting below this morning's value area low with that rejection, but staying above value area high. It does look like it's trying to work itself out of this channel. So if it starts to work itself out of this channel, reclaims value area low, comes back, works its way back up, we could get into the meatiness right back to the weekly value area high. That would be one move. That would probably be a pre-market move. In the open, I mean, realistically, it needs to get through all this junk, take out yesterday's high a day, and then start working its way up. You know, so pathing on that in the open would be, you know, opening print. We come up, beat yesterday's high a day, come down, test, and now if we go into the 68.80s. If we were to take a breakdown, I would really honestly look for two things. I would still look for support here, but if it melts through this with ease, then that's a pathing here. So you can see the primary grounds that I'm looking at, 67.95 area, 68.67 area. That's a wide area. So I really just don't know what I want to do in between yet. You know, again, I like the idea that it bounces off of value area high and moves its way up. It just, this is really messy, right? This is clean. This is a mess. I don't know where I want to trade in there. I don't know where exactly I would put my targets at. So I really have to be patient and hopefully let this thing move one way or the other. Now, again, if it moves down here and loses point of control, I could take some short scalps. I could see that. That is a long ways down, 68.30, and you got 30 points down there. You should be able to take something. You can obviously see a resistance here that's not been touched. I'd stay out of this little zone here, a point of control from yesterday. So it's like you lose 68.24. If you can break 68.22, I could see you come targeting 68.11, which would be last week's point of control for the week. And then I'd probably let go there because I don't know if I'd really want to trade this either. Like I grinded down, found its support. So it does seem like buyers are sitting down here. I don't think I want to short into those buyers. I got to be honest with you, this is for losing a funded account yesterday, you feel really eager to get back in the game and start trading and tell yourself, hey, you know what you're doing. Even though I made money on my top step accounts, I'm honestly only trying to make about $100, $200 a day until I can build enough of a cushion that I don't have to worry about the trailing drawdown. But I really don't know where I want to start. You can see my paths; those would be my paths, but it's got a ways to go before it can get to any of them. I mean, I'm asking for like 50 points just to test the high and keep going, or I'm saying, hey, 68.40, get down to 67.90, another 50 points to again give me pathing. So I think we're just really going to have to let the market open and help give us some direction. If anything, I don't think there's going to be any long trades or short trades. I don't think there's going to be any like 2, 3, 4 to 1s. I think right now this looks like a scalping day, and a fast scalping day without hesitancy. So that's where I'm at. Um, Let me know what you think. Good luck today.